So thanks guys again for joining me. This is the Cat's Pajamas bringing you guys rounds of 64 action here out of the SC Reddit Open. Down here at the 6 o'clock position on Metalopolis, we have our green Zerg player, Masters level Zerg player. His name is wavefront of the File Clan. His opponent here at the 3 o'clock position is our teal Protoss player. He is wavefront, a 2800 level diamond player. Now we are close positions here on Metalopolis, which I'm sure wavefront is going to be overjoyed to find out here in just a second. wavefront is, at the 3 and 6 o'clock positions. It means there's a very short walk distance in between the two bases. Comically short, as a matter of fact. So I would expect a relatively quick batch here, not to go very long into the macro game. wavefront is throwing down that pylon at the front of his base, which will allow him the opportunity to put down one nice little gateway and a cybernetics core and just leave this tiny little area for a zealot there, completing the wall off and making sure that no Zerglings can get in and surround his units and move into the economy line. But wavefront, with a very early pool, I think that was an 8 pool. So wavefront going to 8 pool his opponent possibly. An extractor just being used for a trick there to go ahead and get up some extra food there. We are going to have one Overlord popping out in addition to another drone. So he is going to have some Zerglings up here in just 1 second, going to complete that rush. wavefront is aware of the fact that the spawning pool is almost done, however. He does have one gateway coming up, but it's nowhere near being complete. About 50 seconds away from being done. wavefront putting up his assimilator as well. That spawning pool is now finished. 6 Zerglings coming out, being rallied into his opponent's base. Yeah, we're going to follow these Zerglings here in just 1 second. Queen coming up in addition, though, so wavefront going to turn this into somewhat of a macro-oriented build once these 6 lings are done. Going to try and do as much economic damage as he possibly can. Probably going to need to see another couple of pylons or something along the way down here just to protect against those Zerglings when they run up. But the Zerglings are now coming up. That gateway is just finishing at the moment. Going to need a Chrono Boosted Zealot coming out immediately. Cybernetics core going down. Those probes are going ahead and fitting themselves in the area so that these Zerglings won't be able to do all that much damage. It's a pretty nice response to this. wavefront still killing a couple of those probes. He can't let the Zerglings get us around. And the Zerglings are going to be able to kill all the rest of these probes. The Zealot only now coming out. There's still 4 Zerglings up. And the Zerglings are getting in and killing probe after probe. Surround there with the probes, but a couple more still will go down. Let's take a look at the aftermath. The unit stab suggests to us that there are 8 probes up for wavefront, but 13 drones up for wavefront. So he has pulled an economic advantage. In fact, it's quite significant at this point. Almost twice the mining rate altogether. He is going ahead and continuing to drone up at this point, putting up his second queen, and bringing in his Roach Warren as well. So he is taking the roaches. wavefront is back on his gas, so he's not going to be able to put up even Warp Gate technology for a little while. There he has the resources for it. Warp Gate now coming up. He's going to need a Chrono Boost. A ton of probes up, though, to be able to compete here. He is down by 7 workers at this point, 12 to 19. wavefront also, a little bit supply block there, but finishing another Overlord, that's fine. A couple of roaches coming up in addition to some creep being spread. So creep coming out at this point. wavefront going to expand that all the way to his opponent's base if possible, if this is even going to go long enough. But wavefront didn't completely die to the first 6 lings, I guess I should say. He handled that a lot better than most. He unfortunately didn't have a Zealot out to aid in that attack, and the probes were forced to have most of the brunt. But he is only down by 4 workers at this point. There is a Stalker in play. He has his second gateway coming up, so he could mount a defense. But we already have 5 roaches heading out for wavefront. And these are going to be absolutely deadly, as there's only a couple of Zealots that have to close to do any damage. As soon as those Zealots run out of the way, the roaches will run into the base. Stalker running around as well. He's going to need a couple more of those here very, very soon. wavefront is about to run up with his roaches, moving up at the second, and going to target fire down the Zealots very quickly. The Zealots actually running away. So the Zealots being run away, but wavefront is forced to GG, so wavefront is going to advance to the round of 32 here at the SC Reddit Open.